Welcome to my weekly podcast regarding payments. Today we're going to talk about credit cards and debit cards. Well, credit card and debit cards typically look same. They have 16-digit number, expiration date, magnetic strip, and EVM chips. They both are easy to make payment at store or online purchasing. But the key difference is the credit card that you use, it's a loan that you're taking from the bank, or it's a debt that you're using from the bank. Whereas the debit card is the money that you're using from your bank. So if you do not have the money in your bank, your debit card would not work. If it worked, it would be an overdraft. Well, you most probably be using one of these cards, like a debit card or credit card, and you might not be aware of it. The key difference that we can say that they both provide access to the credit that you have. In terms of the credit card, you given the credit issued by the bank, whereas debit cards are directly the money debited from your account. Well, credit card offer better consumer protection, and debit card do not offer that much consumer protection. When comparing to the debit card and credit card, it's important to consider their fees and charges that they levy on your credit card, whereas the debit cards. Let's understand the key differences in the credit card and debit card. Well, when it comes to the credit card, it's a money that you are using from the bank, which is provided as a debt or as a credit line from the bank. When you're using a debit card, it is the money that you have in your bank account. You are using it directly from your bank account. Credit card carries reward points and discounts, whereas debit card usually do not have reward points and discounts when you're buying groceries or doing online shopping or doing any kind of shopping. There are interest rates and fees varies on the credit cards, whereas in debit cards it does not have no interest charges on it. Credit cards are protected against frauds and fraudulent activities, whereas debit cards are not protected that much. So what typically is a credit card? Credit card is the money that is provided by the bank. It's a debt that is provided by the bank, which is you using it. It enables you to buy, do shopping, buy goods at marketplace even though you do not have the money. It gives you the credit line, and it carries interest charges as well as fees while you're using the credit card. There can be multiple credit cards. There are different types of it, like standard card, premium card, reward card, balance transfer card, secured credit card, and charge cards. Credit card users can reap cash, discount, travel points, and many other perks available to which are not available to the debit card holder. You can earn reward points or your credit card that can be used or redeemed while you're doing shopping or purchasing something. There are multiple pros of using credit cards. It builds your credit history. If you do not have the credit history, if you want to build your credit history, you just have to you have to take the credit card, use it, and on time you need to make your payments. You do not want to miss your payments. You just need to make all the payments on timely manner. So it builds a credit history for you. There is a warranty and purchase protection also. So if you buy something and it's not good, you can just simply return it. If you're buying something bought something from an online store and it's faulty, you can simply return it back, and you will ask your bank not to provide that money to the merchant. And there is a fraud protection also. If somebody mistakenly or deliberately uses your card to buy or something online, and you can simply go ahead and file a complaint, and your money will be refunded. I mean, there is a lot of protection in terms of the frauds and any fraudulent activities carried out on your card. Well, credit card carries a fair billing protection also. Like if you can have the billing cycle as per you want. Zero liability protection also they provided if any fraud happens on the credit card. There are insurance policies that also can be taken on the credit card. The cost of using credit card can be different. Different banks charges different fees, different service charges on the credit card. So it's typically depends on the bank, but the difference is not that much. Well, there can be some cons also. Well, when we have a free hand of using someone else's money, we're gonna use it recklessly. So sometimes a credit card use can lead to debt that you cannot repay. Then you have to carry higher interest charges when you do not pay the full amount. The remaining amount which is being carried forward, it carries a lot of monthly interest. And if you do not pay the credit card bill on time, it severely impacts your credit score. It's going to reflect in your credit history, and it's going to have repercussions in terms of taking loans in the future. So while you're using your credit card, you just want to make sure that you're making all your payment online. You're not missing out or forgetting the due dates that you have. Interest and fees are, some interest and fees are not that much on the credit card, but when you do not pay your monthly bills or your due amount, the carry forward amount going to have a lot of interest charges on it. So you want to make sure that whenever you are using a card, you just make the payment on a timely manner or before due date. Let's talk about the debit card now. The debit card that you have, it's not just, it's just a money that you have in your account that you're using it simply. So instead of using cash, you have a debit card that you use to make payments. That's simply a debit card. There are different kind of debit cards: standard debit card, electronic benefit transfer card, prepaid debit cards. There are certain benefits of using debit cards, like you avoid debt. Okay, if you use your money, you use it judiciously. You do not recklessly spend that money. You simply use it judiciously because it's your money that you're spending. So debit cards are helpful when you want to avoid debt. There are certain banks which are providing good fraud protection on a debit card. You can go ahead and look out in the market. There are certain banks which provide lot of good protection, like Visa and Master. These companies are providing good fraudulent protection. It's very tough for fraudulers to charge your debit card or make payment from your debit card. There are no annual fees. There is no due date. There is no any kind of a payment cycle that you have to follow. It's simply the money that you have in your account that you're using. So there is no fees. There is no interest charges that you're gonna pay. Well, there are certain cons of using debit cards. Well, there are no reward points. To be clear, there are no reward points on the debit cards. There are no discounts provided by the merchants. There are no reward points that is provided on a debit card. So using a debit card will not have that much advantage when you want to earn reward points. And it does not help you to build your credit history, because when you're using a debit card, you're simply using the money that you have. So there is no credit history that is going to be linked to your profile. So simply, if you do not have the credit history, if you're using debit card, it's not gonna help you. Fees. For some certain banks, like they simply do not have fees on the directly debit card, but the account that you carry behind that, it will have some fees and charges associated with it. So the question arises, are the debit card the same as credit card? No, not at all. Debit cards are not at all same as debit cards. According to your wish, you can use it for your like debit card or credit card. If you have a lot of money, you can use debit card. If you do not have a lot of money and you want to build your credit history, you can use credit card. People usually use credit card to build their credit history, and it gives them a leverage when they do not have the money, or they will receive in a subsequent month, or the salaried people mostly use credit card. Can you earn reward points with the debit card? There are certain debit cards which provide reward points, but that would not be that much. Those are very minimal. But if you compare to debit card with the credit card certainly have a lot of advantages when it comes to reward points and discounts. Well, when it comes to interest charges on credit card, it is usually shown that there are zero interest charges on the credit card. But the reality is, if you are making timely payment, you will not be charged. There are service charges or some certain charges are levied on the card, but if you do not pay your monthly bill properly, or you miss out, or you carry forward previous month's remaining amount, then it will attract a lot of interest charges. To get the credit card, you need to be adult. You need to have good credit history. If you do not have good credit history, it would be very hard for you to get the credit card. Well, when the question arises, is credit card safer than the debit card? Yes, credit card is certainly safer than a debit card, because let's face it, you're using someone else's money. So they are not gonna, somebody else, unauthorized person to use their money. Banks usually have a lot of protection on debit cards. They provide insurance also. They have a lot of mechanism where they can easily track any unauthorized use of your credit card. So the bottom line, you can use debit card, you can use credit card as per your wish, but if you want to make your credit history, you better use credit card. But while using credit card, you want to make sure that you are making timely payment, you are not carrying forward your amount to the next month, because it will carry a lot of interest charges, and you're using the credit card judiciously. And if you don't want to use the credit card, that's completely okay. If you have money, you can use debit card. That would be the convenient way, but using debit card means you're using the money that you have in your account. So thank you guys. This was the podcast on debit cards and credit cards. See you in the next podcast about payments.